Hi, hello, welcome to the Yarn and Yarns YouTube channel. My name's Angela. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Rainbow Ange. You can also find an Instagram account and a Facebook page for my small business. We're called Yarn and Yarns, same as the channel. And it's a little bricks and mortar yarn shop based here in South Wales in the UK, just outside of Cardiff. So welcome, thank you for coming back and joining me again if you are a returning viewer, and of course a very big hello to anyone who may be joining me for the first time. Here on the channel you'll find me chatting about knitting, crochet, sewing, spinning, yeah, just a mixture of crafty pursuits, and also I will sometimes talk about what's going on in the shop, although no shop news specifically today. I'm recording from my craft room at home, so should be a pretty straightforward episode today. I have got some finished objects to show you, knitted. I have some sewn finished objects to show you, and also some knitted works in progress. So sadly no crochet or spinning again this week, but I have in a bag behind me actually a crochet project that I'm hoping to get back to soon. So with any luck there'll be a little bit more crochet content in the upcoming episodes. So first of all, I wanted to start by drawing a winner for the giveaway that I had going back quite a few weeks ago now. I'm not sure what episode, might have been around episode 40. Actually I should grab the yarns that are the prize for that giveaway, just bear with me one second. So if you have joined me for the previous episodes, you might remember that I wanted to celebrate the fact that we had reached 100 subscribers for this channel, and I have pulled a couple of skeins of this lovely yarn, which is Mirasol Hachito hand painted superwash merino blend wool, 80% wool, 20% nylon, and I had 2 skeins of this in stash. So earlier on I used a random number generator to pick from the comments on the giveaway video. Here is a little recording of me going through that process. So I need to pick a winner for the giveaway. It's much later than I said I would draw the giveaway, so I do apologise for that, but with us being away and everything, it slipped my mind to do it before we went. So I've pasted my YouTube video, and it's fetching comments. This is a random number generator, so I've got 17 comments on that video. So click pick a winner, and the winner is Blue Cherub 82. Thank you, Kim. And Kim, for anyone that's interested, has recommended Old Soul Crochet Co. As a podcast to watch. So thanks for joining in, Kim, and I will contact you to find out your address details so I can get those 2 skeins of yarn off in the mail to you. So congratulations to Kim. Kim is a fantastic crocheter. She has her very own YouTube channel. She's very personable. I love watching her videos. She often records and uploads sort of short vlog style videos where she just chats about her day and her crochet. So yeah, I am super excited that I got around to drawing the prize. So I'll be in contact with you, Kim, to get your details so I can send this off to you in the post, and I will look forward to seeing what you do with this. Obviously it's entirely up to you. Make what you like with it, or if when you receive it it's not something that you feel that you would use, by all means, you know, spread the love and pass it on to someone who you think would use it. So yeah, I wish I could give something away to everyone who watches. I am a very small channel, so I really appreciate people that do take the time to spend with me and listen to me waffle on about my projects. Okay, so that over with, it's time to get on with the finished object section of this video. I have had 2 weeks since I recorded, although I posted a video last week. I had recorded it really the week before, so it's been 2 weeks since I put any footage together, and I have quite a few finished objects to show, which is fantastic. The last couple of weeks, project bags in the shop have been absolutely flying out, and I got to the point yesterday where I was down to 2 project bags, and they're actually 2 that have been in the shop for a little while, so I might consider taking those ones out for the time being. But I thought I had best crack on and sew up some more bags. I'm not ready to record my full video yet, but a few of you had let me know that you enjoyed seeing the bags when I made the last batch, so I thought I'd record just a quick little segment before I take these into the shop, and then I can add that on to the full video later. So yeah, I've been sewing away for the last few evenings. I had most of these cut out. If you remember the last time I made bags, I had cut a bunch out and then I ran out of interfacing, so I had quite a few sort of stacked up just waiting to be sewn and ready. Then my family came, so that I wasn't able to finish them. So yeah, most of these just needed sewing together. I'm not going to spend huge amounts of time showing them to you. A lot of them are similar to the ones in the last batch because I'd cut out duplicates of most, and then when I had the issue with the interfacing, I decided to at least make up one of each print. But I'll quickly run through them as there was some interest last time. So first off, to use up the last of the Peter Rabbit fabric, I've made a few notions pouches. These are all different sizes, obviously just to use up the bits that I had left. So I've got a pencil case size 1, which a few of my customers have bought for storing their crochet hooks in, and then I've got sort of a coin purse size and then a slightly larger. So I think that has used up the rest of the Peter Rabbit fabric. I've got a few of the cat fabric bags. I actually made these for one specific, as a specific thing for one of my customers who wanted a cat bag, but through different circumstances she hasn't actually been in the shop yet, and all the 3 that I'd made before had sold, so I thought she should be in the shop today, which is kind of what spurred me on to get these finished. So I've got another of the fun sort of pile of cats with the batik fabric on the bottom. This one actually I only just sold this last week, and lots of people were saying that I should have kept this, or the previous iteration of this, because they thought it reminded them of my cat, but I've resisted the urge so far, though it is very cute. I've got another Laurel Birch bag. This one sold really quickly last time, even though it was my most expensive bag because the fabric was quite expensive. The last bag I had was I paired with purple on the bottom. This one's pink. I've had a request to make one with a blue bottom, so that will be coming up shortly. But yeah, this fabric's really fun, and there's so many colours in this. I've still got a fair bit of this left, so I could definitely sort of pair it with all of the fun colours. I've made that one a large, really large bag, so as you can see, bigger than my head. And as James likes to tell me on a regular basis, my head is big. I also have another fun cat print bag, so just fun black cats on a lovely sort of greeny background. So that one I haven't made a duplicate of, so that one is new. And inside this one actually I have made a little matching notions pouch, so they come as a set. This one, again, is another one that I didn't have a duplicate of. I've only made one of these. I really love it, but I'm not sure how popular this will be because it's fairly plain. I think it looks reasonably just classy. But so I've got the red stripe with a denim bottom. So yeah, I really love that, but like I say, it's quite plain. A lot of people like the fun novelty prints, so we'll see if that one hangs around or not. I've made a lot of these larger size because that's what some people in the shop have been requesting. I've got another of the batik moon print. I made 2 of these, another one with a purple bottom, but I haven't been able to resist and I have kept the purple one for myself. Also, I had 2 of these in the shop before, and one lady bought both as she wanted to use them as gifts, but she asked me if I had any of the fabric left to make matching notions bags, and I had 3 more project bags cut out. One was smaller than the others, so I've sacrificed the smallest project bag and I've cut that fabric down to make 2 notions pouches, but that's next on my sewing list. I haven't got round to putting those together in this sewing section. I've also got 2 tree print. These ones I haven't had before, so this is a fun print from Dashwood Studios. So I paired one with a blue fabric and then another with green, and I put a fun yellow zipper in one and just a plain white zipper in another. Again, this is a print that's got a few different colours on, so it's fairly easy to mix and match different fabrics with that. I've got this lovely grey seed head bag, and then the last 2 I'm not so pleased with. I had a stack of this fabric and I used it for linings in bags, and also way back when I had my Etsy shop I made a few embroidered panels and I used this fabric as border for that. When I cut this, I remembered why I'd stopped using the fabric. It was a little bit tricky because the fabric had been printed wonky. So it was okay for using sort of as borders and inners, but I went ahead and made these anyway, but I'll probably sell these at a slightly cheaper price, just because I think particularly at the bottom there you can see how out the sort of fabric, it's not my cutting, I promise, it's just how out the fabric print is. So anyway, I made 2 of those. Slightly different sizes, and that's used the rest of that fabric up. If they sell, great. If not, then I might pull these apart and stick to my original plan and go back to using that as inners. For all of my bags now, I just use plain fabric inside, so just a plain cream. I think I mentioned this before, I've used fancier fabrics in the past, but most of the people who've bought my bags in the shop requested plain insides because they found it easier to see what was inside, so that's fine with me, and it helps keep the cost down for the bags as well. So just to give you an idea, my notions pouches I usually sell between £3 and £5 each, depending on how big they are. Sometimes I go down to £2.50 if they're just really small ones, and then project bags usually start from around £12 and they go up to like this one I charge £25 for, just because of the cost of the fabric and the size. So yeah, usually between £12 and £20, depending on size and how much the fabrics cost. I'm by no means a super duper bag maker. As you can see, I keep things simple. I don't put any handles on, I don't put any pockets. But yeah, my customers seem to really enjoy them, so hopefully you have enjoyed seeing them too. And I need to sign off now and hotfoot it into the shop. Need to put price tags on all of these and get them hung up before the day starts, so I'm sure I shall see you again soon. On Instagram recently, the lovely Hell's Kitch has started a little knit along, crochet along, craft along, which is encouraging people to finish up their works in progress. So when I got back from our little break to York, I sat and I wrote a list of all of the projects that I have in progress, commission work and my own personal projects. My own, I should have brought that notebook up really, it's downstairs. It was a lovely gift from a friend of mine for my birthday. And my plan is every month to write out a page of my works in progress and hopefully see that list shrink over time. When I wrote my list out, I had 16 personal projects, not including my blankets, and I think 5 or 6 commission projects. But having that list is really inspiring me to focus on what I already have on the needles. So although the desire to cast on new projects is always strong, yeah, I'm kind of determined to, I'd really like to get that works in progress list down to 10, but we'll see. I have made a reasonable dent in that over the last couple of weeks. I have finished a couple of pairs of socks, and those socks are projects that actually, one was a commission project and one was a shop sample. So I recorded a little snippet of video the other day talking about those projects, as I knew that I wouldn't have them with me when I would be recording this video. So I'm going to pop that in here. I have 2 pairs of finished socks to chat to you about. One pair you have seen before here on my previous videos, and the other I cast on and cast off while I was on my mini holiday. So they're both in the shop at the moment, so I thought I'd record this segment quickly ahead of recording my full video, and then I'll pop this in just so that I have them on hand. So the first pair of socks are a pair of socks that I'm making on commission. I chatted quite a lot about these last video. So these are the opal socks that I was knitting last time. This is from the Opal Safari range, and the colourway is Namibia. And you might remember, if you watched that video, I was playing with the fit of these for one of my lovely customers, and when I got back from my trip, she brought them back in and said that they fit perfectly for what she needed, which was great, because no ripping up back and knitting up again, which is always fabulous when you're working on something for someone else. So yeah, I was just able to pick up the second sock, cast on, and knit it to the same recipe as the first. So I cast on 72 stitches on a 2.25mm needle, and I did my usual 12 rounds of 2x2 ribbing, 50 rounds for the leg. I popped in some waste yarn for an afterthought heel. There's 80 rounds on the foot, and I decreased wedge toe style down to 16 stitches, as she'd requested a much wider toe. And yeah, I'm happy that those are off the needles. Lovely yarn to work with. I think I mentioned in the last video that I wouldn't necessarily have gravitated towards this colourway myself, but I am glad that I had the opportunity to knit it, because I think they've turned out really nicely, as opal yarn always does, and I have got reasonable amounts left over. Put my teeth in. So that's it for the first pair. The second pair of socks I knit in West Yorkshire spinners, and I cast them on as a holiday project, and I took them away to Yorkshire, and I had loads of fun knitting them. I have very fond memories of knitting them in various places. So I knit them when we were travelling down the river on a little cruise in York, and I knit them while I was sat on the harbour wall up on the North York coast. Where else? I knit them a little bit while I was in York Minster. So yeah, they definitely have lots of memories knitted into them. They're actually stuck on the wall as my display pair at the moment. I like to try and keep a pair of socks on display in the shop. So I am going to pause this here and just quickly take you over to the wall and just show you what those look like. So here they are in their finished glory, all pinned out on my wall. This is the West Yorkshire Spinners signature 4-ply in the Goldfinch colourway. So I'm very happy with how those turned out. The colourway is part of the West Yorkshire Spinners signature 4-ply range, the British Birds range that they brought out. It's actually been out for a little while, probably a good couple of years, because I am pretty sure that my second ever pair of socks I knit were in the Blue Tit colourway from that range. But I haven't to this point stocked many colours of that in the shop, mostly because it has been out for a little while. But I needed to fill out an order that I was making with West Yorkshire Spinners the other week, so I added the Goldfinch colourway and also the Peacock colourway just to my order, to make that order viable. So I thought it'd be nice to knit up a pair of those. And the peacock colourway is lovely blues and greens, but I gravitated more towards the yellows and golds in that goldfinch. So I thought if I knit those up, then I can always wear those myself when I have finished using them as display. I knit those also on 2.25mm, but I used the recipe that I used for myself, 64 stitches, 12 rounds of ribbon, 50 rounds for the leg. I did an afterthought heel again so as not to interrupt that lovely stripe, and also a wedge toe. So yeah, 2 sock projects off the needles in a week, which is really nice. I cast off the goldfinch socks on Sunday when we got back from our trip, and I cast off the opal socks Wednesday. So I started the second sock on Monday and I finished it on Wednesday. So fairly quick knit. These are always really good to do when I have the groups in the shop. A bit of mindless stockinette is always useful when you're chatting and picking your projects up and down. So yeah, they are my socks. I also have one other finished object, 2 almost finished objects to show you, and I also have one other finished object that I'm looking at across the room at, that I won't be showing you this week because it is busy blocking on my blocking mats at the moment. So first off, I test knit a beautiful pair of mitts for the lovely Kyla, who is Arctos Knits on Instagram. She also has the Arctos Knits YouTube channel. She posts lovely videos. She's very detail orientated. She does a lot of her own design work. Yeah, her projects are lovely. So when she chatted on a previous video that she had a couple of projects that she was hoping to release as patterns, I was happy to volunteer to test knit for her. And the first project that she sent me to test knit are these lovely mitts. So these are now available on Ravelry. She has recently released a pattern a couple of days ago, and these are called the hedge nettle mitts. And oh, they're just beautiful. They were so much fun to make. They literally took a couple of hours each. They're knit from Aran weight yarn. For mine, I used Debbie Bliss Cashmerino Aran, and they took just 1 ball, and I have a tiny amount of leftover as well. So these would be fantastic gift knitting, I think. They literally, as I say, took an evening or two, probably 2 evenings, and used such a small amount of yarn. Great for stash busting as well if you have leftovers from another project. They have this beautiful leaf detail in this kind of lacy arch, and there's also, I don't know if my camera will show, a tiny little leaf detail and some lace work down the thumb as well, which not some lace work, sorry, like a stem down the thumb, which I just love that little detail. So yeah, the hedge nettle mitts, they are available now on Ravelry. I can highly recommend those, and I think I'll probably get a lot of wear out of those. It's always useful to have fingerless, I think, especially in this kind of transitional season. We're definitely getting more autumnal here in Wales. We've had a nice little bit of sunshine this week, but the evenings are definitely getting chillier, and there's that sort of autumnal chill in the air which we didn't have before. So these are kind of perfect for keeping hands warm, and I can see myself definitely getting a lot of use out of these, probably in the shop as well, because when we get colder and colder, we have limited heating in the shop. So yeah, obviously fingers free, so you can sort of carry on. I can knit, read, whatever in these. So yeah, beautiful little pattern, and a real joy to be able to test knit those. So they are my finished object. I also have an almost finished object, and I don't think I've shown this on the videos before. I think I was just kind of while I was working on this, I had those weeks where I didn't really do a sort of sit down and chat about my projects as such, more like the vlog style videos, and I'm not sure if this has ever had a mention. So I have knit a hat, and this is the beautiful Brooklime pattern, which is from Baram U, designed by Rachel Coopy. A gorgeous 3-colour hat. Haven't really got the right sort of hairstyle to model hats today, but it's got a nice bit of slouch to it. The reason it's not finished is in the pattern there's a little pom-pom, which I think will be really useful just to add a little bit of weight and sort of keep that slouchiness down. But I want to do my pom-pom in this lovely orange colour, and I can't for the life of me find the leftovers of this yarn, and I know there are some. So the yarn is Pip Colourwork from Baram U, which is a lovely 4-ply 100% wool yarn, very reminiscent of something like Jamieson and Smith's. Actually, I wonder, I might be able to show you. So yeah, a lovely sort of woolly wool, and very reminiscent, as I say, of Jamieson and Smith's. So this is a Jamieson and Smith's wool, as you can see. Nice, lovely, lightweight woolly yarn. And here is some leftover of the Pip Colourwork from a different project. So as you can see, very, very similar in the way that they are plied and made. Beautiful British yarns. I just can't find the leftover of the orange. The orange, I think, is called Viking. This project never made it into a project bag. I just had it in, I've got a little basket by the sofa that mainly houses actually my Spindrift, my Jamieson and Smith Spindrift colourwork cushion, and the hat sort of lived in that basket with that, but I just cannot find this to finish off the pom-pom. I can't remember what the other 2 colours are called. The grey might be Crucible, but if you're interested in the detail, then I do have a project page over on Ravelry. So yeah, I really enjoyed knitting this pattern. The yarn's absolutely lovely. It's got this beautiful sort of repeating geometric design, and then at the top the crown decreases are worked just in the 2-colour sort of stripe sequence. Yeah, so if you can imagine a lovely little orange pom-pom on the top there, this is going to be a fantastic hat come the autumn. Originally the pattern, I think, was knit in black and white, maybe a blue brim, but obviously I changed the colours. I think this will be a nice piece to display in the shop window when I change my window to autumn. Yeah, the Brooklime hat, again, another one I can highly recommend. And for anyone that's interested, I know sometimes people want to see, I will show you the inside of the hat. So this is what my floats look like. I'm not entirely sure why people are interested in the insides. I guess I am to a certain extent when other people show their colourwork projects, but it's the outside that matters. So yeah, Brooklime, patterned by Rachel Coopy, designed for Baram U. And that, as I say, will end up, I think, on display in the window. The centrepiece of said display will be my next finished object, which I am super excited about. Well, it's not finished. When I hold this up to you, you will see there are a bajillion ends that need weaving in. But I am almost there on my Harriet cardigan, which is a beautiful project designed by Sarah Hatton for West Yorkshire Spinners, knit from West Yorkshire Spinners, Wensleydale Gems yarn. And here is my finished cardie. I love it. I've literally just finished sewing up the seams on this cardigan. So yeah, super excited. It fits really nicely. I don't think I'll really be able to show you. Perhaps I'll give it a go and then I can always cut it out if it looks awful. So here is a quick shot of it on. As you can see, there are ends poking out everywhere. I wanted to set in the sleeves and sew up the sides before I went ahead and wove in all of the ends, just in case I needed to do any adjustments. But I'm really pleased with how it has come out. As I say, it fits quite nicely. I don't have any buttons on it yet. I am cogitating on the buttons. There are many things I like about this. There are a couple of things that I would possibly do a bit differently if I knit this again. I have a little bit of an issue at the moment with a bit of puffiness on the sleeve here. It's a set-in sleeve, which can be a little bit difficult to sort of ease in and sew the seams as you're going around, but I'm hoping a bit of a steam. I think when I've sort of got it on, you can't really see that issue too much, but I'm hoping that a bit of a steam block on those seams, which I haven't done yet, will sort out the majority of that issue. 3/4 length sleeves, which I really love. This is so warm and cozy. It's a cropped cardigan with the button bands around the neck, and yeah, the button bands are grey, and then the bottom band is in this beautiful orange colour. So it's a crop length cardigan. You can see, hopefully I'm doing this a little bit awkwardly, I'm sort of on my knees here trying to show this to you, but I think you get the gist. And I think, as I say, it fits quite nicely. I think it's going to be a little bit tight over the bust area once I get the buttons on, but I don't think it will be too bad. I don't think there's going to be too much pulling on that. And it's such a warm cardigan that I could definitely see that I'll probably be wearing it open quite a lot of the time. So yeah, I have blocked all of the pieces. I haven't yet done anything with the bands or the seams, so I'm hoping, as I say, I'm pretty proud of the job that I did picking up the button bands. I think that's pretty neatly done. But yeah, I'm hoping a little bit of a steam will sort out those residual issues around the sleeves. As I say, I'm really happy with the fit everywhere else. The sleeves are probably slightly longer than 3/4 length shown on the sort of picture on the pattern, but I'm not unhappy with the length at all. I think they're actually a really nice length. I think any shorter and I would probably have been sort of sat tugging these down. So I started this as a little bit of a knit along with my friend Erin. Hi Erin. So I just want to say a big thank you to Erin for encouraging me to cast this on. I love these colours and it was on my to knit list. Erin also bought the yarn and decided she wanted to cast on, so we cast on together. I think Erin's still working on her cardigan, but we'll be cardigan twins at some point. Which is also really fun. Erin lives over in Canada, so maybe one day we'll get together and we can be twinsies in real life with our Harriet cardigans. But I am looking forward to wearing the bejesus out of this. I was going to swear then. But I'll try and keep it family friendly. Yeah, I love it so much. Button wise, I need 7 buttons. I have these beautiful buttons that were actually sent to me by Erin, which they're slightly big for the buttonholes, but I have tried one and I can get one through with a squeeze. I only have 4 of them though. So I'll show you the buttons. They are handmade buttons from Cat's Eye Collective, who is Kelly, and they are beautiful wooden buttons with these anchor detail on. And I think, what do you think? I think they'll look fabulous on this cardigan. So these are my first choice. I am going to contact Kelly. I haven't done it yet because, as I say, I've literally just finished the seams on this, but I'm going to contact Kelly and see if she has any more of these buttons. If she doesn't, then I may just put some buttons on the bottom. I don't think you can, so if I stick so there's a buttonhole there at the top. You see where I'm poking my thumb through? But when it's sat flat, because it's such a dark colour, I don't think you can necessarily see that there's a buttonhole there. If Kelly doesn't, and I can't really see myself buttoning this right up to the neck because, yeah, I'm not massively a fan of that. I don't mind right around my neck jumper, but not necessarily on a cardigan. So if Kelly doesn't have these, then I may either sew up these buttonholes, just tack a couple of stitches over the back, or just leave them there, and I might just put the 4 that I have sort of from the waistband up to the bust sort of area. That's my plan at the moment, so we'll see how that goes. I mentioned that there were a couple of things that I didn't particularly like about the cardigan. The first one is obviously the slight puckering that I have on the shoulders, but I'm not super worried about that. I don't think it looks horrendous, and I'm hoping that will steam out. The other thing that's bothering me slightly is obviously this pattern is a sort of checkered kind of pattern. So you do 2 rows in the sort of orange and grey, a couple of plain rows, and then you're back to the orange and grey, but alternating where you put the blocks of orange so that they're sort of offset on the diagonal. Now the way that the pattern is done, obviously it's knit in pieces, so you knit the back, the front, the sleeves. So the way that you carry the yarn up, I'm just going to take this off and show you what I mean. There's no easy way to really carry the yarn up the sides. The way that it's worked out is that on the inside of the cardigan, on one piece, where I've carried the yarn up is on the side seam. So can you see what I mean? I've got this sort of zigzag where the orange squares were offset. I've got that sort of zigzag going up there. Now I don't know if I misread the pattern or if this is just how the pattern is, but on the other side, these bits are right by the button band. And I'm a little bit concerned that if I'm wearing this open, as I probably will, that if this kind of folds back or moves back, people might see this and it's a little bit untidy. I mean, it's not horrendous, but I'm wondering whether to get some matching like fun orange sort of grosgrain ribbon or tape or something, and maybe just put a little bit of tape but down both sides of the cardigan, obviously, to make it a feature, but just to cover that up. Let me know what you think. I may wear it a few times and just see whether that is actually an issue, if I get any sort of rolling back. I don't think I will with a button band, but yeah, it's a small thing, but at the moment it's kind of slightly bothering me, so I might need to do something about that. So yeah, I just needed to weave in the ends and this is finished. I'm also pretty proud of the job on the seaming that I've done down the sides, shoulders, sleeves, all over really, because I think I did a fairly good job of matching up the pattern. So if you can see the side seams, it's not, you know, the neatest that you'll ever see, but I made a conscious effort to try and make sure that the orange sort of blocks and the grey rows aligned quite neatly. So yeah, I'm pleased as punch. So that is it for my finished objects and almost finished objects. I have one other, which is my Maytham shawl, but I'll show you that next time. So on to works in progress. I have got three works in progress to show you today. The first is a brand new cast on, and this is another test knit that I'm doing for Kyla of Octos Knits. She is bringing out a beautiful sock pattern which has a lovely portion of colour work near the cuff of the leg, which are basically two little bunny rabbits separated by some hearts. And it's just an adorable little chart. You can pop on over to Kyla's Instagram account if you'd like to see her pair of finished socks, but I volunteered to test knit those for her, and I cast these on yesterday. I asked her for her opinion. I had several different colour options that I was going between. I basically raided my stash for some solid and semi-solid yarns. I sent her a picture because I was torn between three colour combinations, and she came back and said that she thought that it would be, if it was her choice, she would choose yellow and blue. So this is all I have so far. The yellow yarn is from West Yorkshire Spinners in their signature 4-ply range. This cuff is reminding me how much I love the look of 1x1 rib. I've gotten a bit lazy in recent times, and I tend to do 2x2 rib just because I can do it a little bit faster. But yeah, this sock has just reminded me how much I love the look of 1x1 rib. So you might see that featuring on a few more pairs of socks for myself. For my commission socks, I'll probably stick to 2x2. Is that mean? It just takes a little bit longer. And the blue yarn is from Rachel Coopy. It's Coop Knits Sock Yeah yarn, and this colourway is Topaz. I recently purchased this yarn, so it's quite nice to wind it up straight away. I purchased it to bulk out an order, so I could. It was one of those situations where you can, buy an extra skein of yarn and get free postage, or pay for postage. So I thought I'd spend the extra, more yarn versus money for no tangible thing. So yeah, these are the colours together. I think they look lovely. I'm not entirely sure. I think this might be butterscotch from West Yorkshire Spinners, but don't quote me on that. So I have just, obviously you can see I've knit the cuff, and I have just started the colour work chart. So you can see my little bunny ears, and you can see a little heart starting to emerge there. So I hope to get the rest of that colour work chart knit this evening, and then the rest of the sock is pretty much plain. There's a little bit of this sort of checkered detail round near the toe. I have a fairly wide instep, which means that I've knit colour work socks in the past, and some of them I really struggle to get over my heel. So the beauty of Kyla's pattern is it comes in 3 different sizes. So I've actually cast on, I think it's let me just refer to the pattern quickly, 68, 72 and 76 stitch options. So I usually knit a 64 stitch sock for myself if I'm doing a plain stockingette sock. So I cast on for the smallest, I cast on a rib of 68, but then I've increased right up to the largest size, so the 76 stitch for the colour work. And then once I get past the colour work, I will go back down to probably 64 stitches, because the stockingette portion should be okay. And if I stick to 76, I think that's going to be way too baggy. So there's lots of, and Kyla actually encourages you to play around with the pattern and the sizing to try and, meet the needs for the size of your foot. So I've not changed my needle size because I've increased such a big amount. So I increased by 8 stitches after the end of the ribbed cuff. So usually when I'm knitting a colour work sock, I would increase my needle size, but I figured as I have put in an extra load of stitches, I'm hoping just sticking to that same size will do the job that a bigger needle size would have done if I hadn't increased those stitches. So we'll see. The pattern chart's about 15 rows long, and then I think the leg's pretty short, although again Kyla does encourage you to knit the leg longer if you want to. But I think given that it's quite a short leg, I should get to the heel turn fairly quickly. So I think I'll stick in the heel turn and see, make sure that I can get this over my heel. And if I can, then fabulous. If I can't, then it won't be huge amounts of knitting to rip back and have a play around with this colour work to make sure. I really want these to fit. Can you tell? Some of the other colour work socks I knit were kind of just for funsies, and I didn't really mind that they don't fit. They look nice in my sock drawer, and they may get given away at some point, but these socks I want for me, so I'm definitely keen on getting the fit right. I'm not sure when that pattern will be released, but I shall keep you updated. I was just interrupted by a phone call, so I lost my train of thought. I'm going to start this section again. Second work in progress is from the anniversary issue of Pom Pom, and these are my festoon socks, which are on the back cover. If you've watched before, you will remember that I am knitting mine from this super bright pink opal yarn, which clashes deliciously with my background wool. Love it. I haven't made lots of progress on these, but I wanted to talk about them nonetheless, because basically I want to keep myself accountable. These socks I really want, but I find myself not reaching for them. I have to really concentrate on the chart for some reason. It's a beautiful pattern, so one side of the sock is this really simple rib, and then the other side of the sock is this gorgeous sort of twisted cable and textured pattern. And for some reason the symbols for the charts, they're only like 2-stitch twisted cables, but it's just not sticking in my head. So I find myself not reaching for these very often, because I know that I have to have a certain amount of concentration to be able to do them. So I want to keep just reminding myself that they're here and I need to work on them, because yeah, as I say, I really want them. So not huge amounts of progress. I think I was probably somewhere around here last time I showed you. I need to pop in a progress keeper just to remind myself how much I've got done. I don't want to show you, you know, if I've only knit 2 rows. So yeah, those are the festoon socks. Still on my first sock. So these have got to be a priority. They've got to be, because I'm kind of... it's weighing on me. These were one of my 12 cast-ons of Christmas. I have some bigger projects of those from those 12 cast-ons that I've barely touched, but for some reason these socks are weighing on my mind quite heavily. Keeping those, I haven't really talked about my project bags, have I? So my test knit for Kyla, I'm keeping in a gorgeous new project bag which I picked up while I was on holiday. So this came from the Makery in York, and it's this really fun sloth fabric. I loved it. I just fell in love with it. So I had to have that. Quite a small bag, but it's perfect for socks. I've got my pattern and my 2 balls of yarn in there and my needles, so this project bag will definitely be in the rotation for ages. The festoon socks are living in a lovely bag that was made for me by my friend Lisa, who is Use Your Yarn. She doesn't sell her bags, but she sent me this gorgeous Japanese knot style bag. So again, perfect for socks. And I like this one because it is quite deep. So as you can see, my copy of Pom Pom fits in there. There's a little bit of it sticking out at the top, but it's a good size for Pom Pom projects. So yeah, really fun, sort of traditional fabric. Lovely, lovely red colour. So my final work in progress is a new one. This was the second project that I took with me to work on holiday, and again I should have brought up the book that this came from. So Rowan have recently brought out quite a few new publications, and one of the publications is a set of designs by Arne and Carlos, who are pretty well known Norwegian designers. And they have designed a book, I think it's called New Nordic. So lots of fun patterns, a lot of colourwork patterns, from felted tweed, kid silk haze, all of the Rowan favourites. And in that book is a lovely little shrug. It's kind of something, I think I'm going to have to go and get the book to explain, so bear with me. Okay, so back with the book, here it is. So, Rowan publication, New Nordic, Arnie and Carlos. Lots of fun patterns in here, some I like more than others. But there was one in particular that really just, I don't know why it spoke to me, because it's sort of a something of nothing. So here it is, it's called Ragnar. And it's, oh, sorry, the light's shining away. So it's like a long sleeve shrug. And I don't know what it is about it. I'm not sure if it's the styling in this picture, but I just love it. Love it. Whether I'll wear it, I don't know. As I say, you know, I mean, it's knit from kid silk haze and felted tweed, so it should be quite warm, but it only goes like really down to your armpits, and it has these long sleeves. There was something just like, you can't get it out of your head. That's what happened with me and this pattern. So I cast on for my very own Ragnar. It was a project that I decided to take away with me on holiday. And now I'm looking at it again. I have chosen colours that are very similar to my Harriet cardigan. What can I say? So I started this, obviously working from a chart, so it needed a little bit more concentration than, you know, my pair of vanilla socks, which I finished while we were on our little break. But I've made reasonable progress on the back piece of this. So as you can see, I have changed my colour choices from the green that was in the book. I have gone for grey and orange. Is it looking familiar? I know I should probably like move away from orange and make a few other things, but I can't help it. The heart wants what the heart wants. So I have finished this section in the lovely deep sort of charcoaly grey with the orange. I've gone into the grey. It's a raglan piece basically, so I'm still working on the back decreases. I will go back to that dark grey for a little bit before I cast off. But I don't have huge amounts actually left to go on this piece, so the back should be done in fairly short order. I have changed a few things about this. Obviously the colour is the first thing that I changed. In the book it's knit in this lovely green with a sort of navy blue colour. I've kept the sort of light and dark theme though. I've picked 2 greys and an orange. And also in the pattern, the orange sections, which are the green sections in the picture, are knit purely in kid silk haze, 2 strands of which held together. So this is kid silk haze. It's a really, really fine mohair and silk blend. And so those sort of pattern bits should be knit in 2 strands of that, which I started knitting and I wasn't really super keen on. So instead I've gone a bit rogue and I am holding 1 strand of the kid silk haze with a strand of felted tweed, and I'm much happier with that. I just like it better. Just a personal choice. I found the 2 strands of kid silk haze were fairly loose compared to my tension on the felted tweed. So that is what I have done, and I'm really happy with that decision, happy with this project so far. In theory it should be a fairly quick knit. It's a really nice sort of striking bold design again, and because it's basically a quarter of a back piece with 2 sleeves. In theory it shouldn't be much knitting, so we'll see. Obviously, once I've finished these pieces, we'll go back round and pick up for a band, but I think I'm just seduced by this picture. I mean, I love this gorgeous dress with the sort of shrug over the top, so I'm probably going to have to, you know, source myself a black linen dress. I know I'm going to not look as gorgeous as this lovely, stunning model, but one can dream, one can dream. I got sucked into it, I suppose. Sucked into the whole lifestyle. Me hanging around in a gorgeous oak panelled room. That's how I want to live my life. Okay, I think this can be quite a long video, so I should probably stop waffling and start trying to wrap up. But before I go, sorry, big face in the camera, I have two gifts that I was given over the last couple of weeks that I just want to share with you quickly. One is knitted and one is a book. I haven't asked this person whether they're happy for me to share their name, so I am not going to mention who sent this to me, but in my previous videos I have mentioned, while I've been knitting my Maytham shawl, my love of The Secret Garden, my favourite book, and a lovely friend and watcher of my videos sent me a beautiful gift that arrived on my birthday. She didn't know it was my birthday. I think that was just a lucky happenstance. So I'll just read you the note that came with the book. I'm sending you this book after hearing you say it was your favourite. This was my nana's and I know she'd love you to have it because you love it as much as she did. So that's just, yeah, makes me emotional just reading that note again. But look at this, a gorgeous copy, obviously very well loved and very old copy of The Secret Garden. And if I have a look inside, there's a list obviously of the publishing dates, and the last one is October 1921, so I'm assuming that this copy is from then, so not far off of 100 years old. Yeah, love it. We'll treasure this. So thank you. If you are watching, you know who you are. Yeah, I will look after this book forever and always. And second lovely gift that I received is knitting related, and one of my lovely friends and customers has recently been on a trip to Latvia, and she brought me back a gorgeous kit for making some traditional Latvian mitts. Look at those, aren't they fabulous? So it came in this little box, knit like a Latvian. She was telling me about this amazing yarn shop that she visited in Riga. It had lots of kits for different mitts. She actually spoke to me briefly while she was in Riga, sent me a picture of some of the mitts that were available. In the end, I told her there were so many beautiful options. I told her to pick something that she thought I would like. So this is, I'm probably not going to pronounce this right at all. So the pattern is mitten from the Kurzeme region, 18th century. So I'm not going to show you the chart because obviously that gives away some of the secret sauce, but there you go. So in my lovely box I have all of these gorgeous skeins of beautiful woolly yarn ready to cast on some Latvian mitts. I was going to do that this weekend. In the end I cast on my test knit for Kyla, but these will definitely go on the needle soon because I'm pretty sure that people in the shop, a few people know that I received these, so I think they'll be keen to watch these grow. Apparently the person who owned the shop, which is Hobby Wool in Riga, was warning my friend that purchased these for me that these are quite complicated, and actually looking at some of the rows, there are 4 colours, 4 colours, yeah, 3 and 4 colours held in one row. So that's going to be a real challenge, which I'm really looking forward to. It's always good to stretch yourself and try something new. Remind me I said that when I'm swearing, because I can't figure out how to manage all of those balls of yarn. Okay, so that is it for this week's video. Thank you so much for sticking with me and watching, spending some time with me. I hope you get to do a little bit of what you love, and until next time, great big woolly hugs to you all. Bye for now.